Mark's really fast. I'm fast at zone 2, but not really fast other than that.
Well, what's more important, being fast or fast in zone 2?
I don't know.
It depends on who's chasing you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Covering Strong Backs podcast. I mean, I think I like Mark, but I'm still kind of not sold on you.
Wow.
What's going on, everybody? Covering Strong Backs podcast 009. I have to get that right. I've screwed that up one time. It was 007. I said 006. So if you're listening sequentially and you make it that far, well, you should have made it this far. Doesn't matter. Time. It's all kind of screwed up in my head now. With me today, just like always, my man Chris Morgan. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing great.
Excellent. And also with us today, a friend of ours, Mark Bishop. How are you doing, Mark?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me on. It's been awesome listening to you guys banter and happy to be part of it.
Yeah, I had to get in on the action, huh?
Yeah.
Couldn't stand by any longer. Yeah, no, it's open to anyone that listens. If they get in contact with me or Chris, and we'll get them lined up. But it's awesome. You were pretty quick to let us know that you'd be willing to hop on here, and I think that's what's so great about this is none of us are famous yet, but we get to interview some cool people.
We will never be famous, and
we get to know people. That's probably fair. But
three's better than
let's
two.
Just move right into it. What you wearing over there, Mr. Bishop?
Got my Murph shirt on.
Beautiful.
A Murph shirt.
Absolutely beautiful.
Running, pull-ups, push-ups, squats, baby. All day. Every week.
Chris, have you ever done Murph? Are you familiar?
Yeah, I've done it a couple times.
Couple
I did
times.
it on Thursday.
Did it on Thursday. Again. And Bish, you're doing the 52 Murphs, right?
Yeah, it's I mean, I would have loved to have stayed consistent and done it every Thursday, but I mean, life happens, and so there was one week I think I did 3 and a double here and there. I'm not crazy like Chris, doing 3 in a day.
Very few people are crazy like Chris. I think
Evan just did one.
He did triple,
didn't he?
Yeah, he did triple.
Yeah,
that's another beast. We need to get him on here too, but we'll save that for another day. Yeah. So, what number are you on now?
I just did 41 yesterday, so it felt good. I didn't really know what to expect because I know we'll get into this later, but indoors been interesting. It was one of those days where you wake up and you're just going through the motions for your morning routine and stuff, and I had my coffee and whatnot and warmed up, and then it felt good once I got going. So I just pretty solid time and just felt good and didn't hit any snags or anything, so I was happy. But yeah, number 41.
Yeah. All right, cool. Let's save a little bit more of that for later on for sure. I want to get Chris's shirt out of the way and then talk about what I'm wearing.
My favorite.
American School. Yep. It's a good one. I think it was the first one I put on the website was the American School.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I think so.
It's a good one. It's
been a while. But yeah, one of my favorites. Definitely one of the more artistic ones. Kind of go back and forth between just plain words and artistic, and that one was a favorite of mine. Just because I had no idea what I was doing on the iPad, and I felt like I created something that was pretty cool. So, and then what I'm wearing, Sleepy Hollow Barbell Club. Now this one, to me, is where I've really started using the technology that it's available to me to really come out with some cool designs. And I've spoken with people that do more artwork like this, and I'm just trying to get better every day. But this one's pretty proud of just because of the detail I was able to get into it. But
You're really becoming an artist.
It's available.
Travis.
We're going to sell these through Halloween. So, what was that?
I said you're really becoming an artist.
Yeah, no, not really. Yeah, that's what's so funny. Like I always grew up drawing, and I loved art. But when you're doing T-shirt design, it's not even really art. Like there's a little bit more that goes into it. Like an artist will sit down and he's got a process, but here you leverage everything you've got to make a good looking T-shirt. I'm sure there's people out there that are talented enough to do that, and I don't know that I'm not talented enough, but I'm definitely not practiced enough to just go in and just draw something cool. Like I'm using a lot of different processes that the programs have to create it. So,
well, I think
fun.
you're about.
What are you using to design?
So I have an iPad. I have I think it's 11.9 iPad Pro, and then I use a couple of programs. Procreate is like you just go in there and draw, and you have layers. And then I'll also use Adobe Illustrator, so you can drag it into Adobe Illustrator and do like an image trace, and it turns it into vector art. And there's an iPad version and a desktop version. And I use both, and it just sort of depends on the T-shirt, like where I need to start and how I need to go about it. But a lot of times I'll just go in and start just drawing something and see what kind of sticks, and work on the layout of something. And but it just depends. And I'm playing with new things all the time to try to make it a more seamless or easier process. So, but it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun for
Well,
sure.
I think it looks great, and I think you're about 1 week away from cutting your ear off. You're that much of an artist, so give you that.
Thank you. I think.
Yeah.
Sounds like some Minnesotan Satan that no one knows what he's talking about, but that's fine.
You don't know
Speaking
the artist,
of
the famous artist cut his ear
from
off?
Morgan, I don't know nothing about history of art. Which one was that?
Van Gogh.
Strange Beast. Got the hard booch going today. And what are you
Hard
drinking?
booch.
Is this part of your non-alcoholic sober October, Mr. Fish?
Yeah, I'm kind of regretting this decision. I did dry January, and it was long. I don't know. I mean, it's fine. You feel pretty good when you don't drink for a little while, but there's some days or weeks where you're just like, it just doesn't hit the right way. But no, I mean it's Athletic Brewing. They have actually some pretty good beers out there for being a non-alcoholic beer. When I was in Afghanistan, we were drinking like Amstel 00, and it's just not the same. But this stuff actually it tastes pretty good. It actually tastes like a IPA, so it'll get the job done. Nice little placebo effect.
I mean,
Yeah,
dry January is much better
I
than
might
sober
have it
October.
tonight.
Yeah, so, well,
Football
just to
season.
back up, if anyone doesn't know, I don't really have a drinking habit. Like, I drink because Chris Morgan wants me to drink during the podcast, and that's what I drink.
Look how good of a person I am.
But I think he
don't
just
drink.
does that because
Man.
he doesn't want to feel like a complete alcoholic, just to be honest. But that's fine. It's fine. It is what it is. But
I have my drinking window.
listening to what Bish said, I think dry January would be so much easier than sober October. Like,
100%.
just because of parties and football and everything that people like to drink around. None of that. What's going on during January? I mean, I guess there's
Nothing.
some football. There's pro football if you like that, but
It's a good time to reset, but I've done even like a sober February as well because it's the shortest month of the year, but that sucks because the Super Bowl's in February. If you're into like the Oscars and stuff, people play a lot of drinking games during that, so it's there's some big events in February, but being the shortest month, it's still not that fun.
Yeah. I've done
Well,
it dry
I have been in the
January. My
shortest month.
birthday's in January, so Think about that sacrifice. I didn't even get to drink on my birthday.
Bless your heart.
So righteous.
Yeah.
Feel pretty proud of myself.
What is it that you say?
Pretty proud.
All right. I'm drinking Voodoo Ranger because that's what I got in my fridge, and I think it's pretty good.
Is that the same case you got? Is that the same case you got like 2 months ago?
Let's not worry about it. I like Voodoo Ranger because of the can art. What is it? It's like a skeleton wearing some Cobra Kai type jacket. I don't know. Badass.
There's a lot of good art on these
Strange Beast
cans.
looks pretty
Look at
good too. That looks like you should be smoking something as well, but
This reminds me of that
fun.
Little Shop of Horrors movie. You know, that guy from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Kind of a musical. The plant that eats people.
yeah.
Weird movie.
Yeah. Cool.
You don't remember that?
That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Let's move on to...
I just spilled on my Covering Strong Backs t-shirt.
That's some for later.
You and I both know that's a Heritage Collection t-shirt.
That's true.
The man that's on the Covering Strong Backs podcast doesn't own any Covering Strong Backs t-shirts.
I haven't bought any yet because I have so many Heritage editions, but I'm going to get there.
Well, I just bought some because I felt like I have so many too, but I felt like I at least should have one or two of the new ones.
I'm excited to turn all of my hoodies into workout hoodies, but then get some new ones. That's going to be fun.
I think that sounds like a spectacular idea.
I bet
Training,
you do.
though. Speaking of workouts, how's everybody's week been training? Bish, you're on Endure with me, right? We're doing the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's been a pretty good week. I had some work stuff come up, and I get started pretty early, and so and goes fairly late sometimes. So I kind of had to modify and do sort of a 3-block style Endure on a couple of the days. But last week, I think, was worse than this week. A little bit more running this week, and depending on the person, you know, if you like interval, I love interval because it just hurt, but I like them because I know what's going to happen on the other end of it. Is it's going to get faster. So,
I agree with you, and also the running to me, because I'll put everything in my Garmin, and my Garmin just kind of tells me what to do. Those days are like a mental break from training, especially with this being a body geo Endure, because I'm sure there's a lot of more movements than there normally are from when Marco programs it. I don't know. It's the first time I've done a Marco program training program, but I feel like I don't have to think on running days. I just when the watch starts beeping at me, just run. And then rest, run. But I agree with you. Last week, just for like, and I know the hard to kill guys. Yeah, the hard to kill guys also had a rough week. But I mean, coming off of BCT, like just squatting and running to this Endure body geometry stuff, it's been terrible. But.
I'm glad you guys are suffering.
Well, I mean, we had to come in and help shoulder some of your burden. Tired of you whining all the time.
I mean, I just did hard to kill the kettlebell version, and which was great because now I'm back on Endure, but I'm sort of doing like a kettlebell version because I'm still in an apartment for the next month or so. And all my stuff's in storage, so it was actually really nice doing the kettlebell version on hard to kill to figure out appropriate subs for a lot of the barbell work that Marco does program. So it's a little bit different, but same effect. But I still love how Marco's stuff is just very straightforward programming. It doesn't require a ton of thinking, but it's definitely different than hard to kill.
Is it as simple as hard to kill? Because that's what I love about hard to kill too. It's just very like boop boop boop. You can fit the whole workout on one screen of your phone, you know.
For the most part, every now and then, like Marco will have So this week he had a couple AERs programmed in there, so you got to open those up and see what they are.
Yeah.
Or when he does intervals, it's worth opening it up to see different rate of perceived efforts and stuff like that. And every now and then he'll have a long MMA Metcon or something like that he'll program. But for the most part, it's very straightforward. I've seen some of VD's stuff, and I'm just like, good grief. Like, you kind of got to really plan it out the day before. I've never done shred, but maybe one of these days.
That's that body comp. I mean, that's just what you got to do. You got to hit those. You got to hit it all, right? So,
I mean,
I've
if
done
you need shred.
and I did shred, and I remember going from shred to hard to kill and just being like, wow, I don't have to think near as much about what's coming up this week. Like, because I remember doing shred, I would have to sit down on Sunday evenings and sort of plan out when I could do things and already kind of get an idea of what I couldn't do for equipment reasons or whatever. Now I think I pretty much got everything that he would use. I guess it's just like, if I don't know, this is a bad example maybe, but if we're doing curls or something like that, I may have to get different, and if anyone's just listening, Chris just panned to show his very minimal gym setup, I believe is what he was trying to suggest there.
Yeah.
But, I may have to get like different size kettlebells or dumbbells or something like that for something like that, but I don't know. A lot less thinking, I think, with Endure and Hard to Kill, and definitely BCT. I mean, you need a squat rack and like a pair of running shoes. You could have been successful there.
Yeah.
So how was Hard to Kill this week, Chris? You've been
it was good.
Struggling like you did last week.
It wasn't as bad as last week. So we had that first week was like it was really there was very little conditioning other than that ridiculous power endurance thing on Tuesday last week. This week we did no heavy lifting, but a lot of conditioning. We had some pretty good, like 60-30 intervals on Monday, and then 200-meter sprints followed by 20-second sprints on Tuesday. Then Wednesday was kind of a deload strength day, and today was a lot of core strength work. So a little better than last week, but I was still really sore this week just because when you do those hard intervals, it's just hard on your legs, so I was actually pretty sore yesterday, even today a little bit just from the hard running. And it's true form season. It's dark again now.
You're
so I'm
sore
back on the
from
true
Monday
form.
because it takes you so long to get sore.
That's right. Yeah.
You're sore from Monday. Yeah.
Because I'm so elite. But
elite.
Yeah, back on the true form for the next probably 6 months. So that kind of sucks. Oh, I hope we didn't lose Bishop.
Oh, I forgot. No, he's there.
Oh, I can't see him, but
I just put my sunglasses on. It's bright.
Oh, that's fine. I don't need to see you.
Yeah, the sunglasses are good. I should probably get some sunglasses.
Dang it. I'm going to need to see this ugly mug.
Cool.
It's funny.
All right, well,
It's funny that you. It's funny that you two are both on Endure, though. Sorry, because like you couldn't have two more different looking humans that are on Endure. So that's just a good reminder for everybody.
For
Endure's
sure.
for everybody.
Yeah. I'm like extremely fit and like what 8-9% body fat, and oh wait, no, I'm sorry, I'm getting me and Bish confused.
I wish I was 9%. I like cupcakes too much.
Stop eating cupcakes.
You don't like them that much. You don't like them near as much as I do, is my guess.
Yeah, Travis likes cake.
Dude, I had 2 cupcakes yesterday and a piece of cake.
My man.
Good. Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's take a quick break, and then we'll get into grilling Bish on basically everything he's done since he started walking and talking.
It's going to be a long episode.
Hey, everybody.
Not much.
I want to thank you for listening to the show and encourage you to go to coveringstrongbacks.com and sign up for our newsletter. Yeah, it's an annoying pop-up. I get annoyed by it too. I go to the website, pops up, it annoys me. I get it. But if you sign up, you'll be able to stay informed with all of our new apparel coming out and any new sales or offers that we're offering. So check it out, and thanks for listening to the podcast.
One second.
I think I've gotten at least 10 inches of rain here in the last 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to work on
10
this
inches.
building, and it may be 3, it may be 4, but I don't know. I've been trying to work on this like office deal, and it's completely hampered us. But
it looks terrible. Great, and your audio sounds awesome. Like so much better than mine. So
it is a lot better than yours.
But we were talking about this during the break. I'm about to get much better internet than I've ever had here in the rural area that I live in, because this is currently being broadcasted through a potato. I don't know that everybody knows that, but for my end,
you're out in the Plains region of Minnesota, 10 minutes from Minneapolis. Is that what I understand?
30 miles.
He's so rural. He's 10 minutes outside the city limits of Minneapolis. He's so rural.
Hey, that's a long ways, the way the bird flies. Speaking of flying. Mark Bishop's here.
We're back, everybody. We're back. If you couldn't tell, we're back. Mark Bishop. Let's get to know Mark.
We're back.
You know, I was thinking about this before. I interact with Mark in the Garage Gym Athlete group. Him and I have spoken a few times here and there, but I think, Chris, you and Mark probably have a better relationship than I do. I think y'all have talked for a while now, or maybe I don't understand that.
That applies to every single person you've interacted with, actually.
No, well, probably so. You talk to everybody?
No, Mark and I are in another group. We have another messenger group with. I think we kind of all got together. Chasing, we were doing a lot of Zone 2 running, trying to get like fast 10K times in Zone 2, so that's kind of how we all got together. So it's like Dominic, Jeremy, Darren, Mark, me. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody there.
No,
we've been.
This time last year we started chatting.
Yeah, it's been about a year.
I probably wouldn't fit into that group, just from what I can tell. If I would have to have like a...
Oh, you'd fit in.
To go at the speeds in which y'all are running, I would probably have to jump off of a 5-mile cliff, and I might reach. But I'd probably be out of Zone 2. Yeah, I'd probably be out of Zone 2.
I don't know.
With that adrenaline, man. Yeah.
It's very unfortunate.
Dominic's really fast. Mark's really fast. I'm fast at Zone 2, but not really fast other than that.
Well, what's more important, being fast or fast in Zone 2?
I don't know.
It depends on who's chasing you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it a grizzly bear?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Or one of those black bears is going to find its way into Chris's truck.
Yeah, snugglebugs. Little snuggly black bears. They're cute. Stupid
cool. So,
cuddle bears.
Mark, we touched on Murph a little bit, just talking about your shirt. So you said you did 41 yesterday, right?
Yeah, 41 yesterday. It was great.
Why did you decide to do this? For you. I mean, I know a lot of people have done it, so it's not like, where did you come up with the idea? But like, why for Mark did you decide to do this?
I've always liked the workout. It's one of those workouts that the first time you do it, it's just grueling, but you kind of just want more. And last year, I wanted to do it once a month. But it didn't really, I don't know, it didn't stick through like May or July. Sometime in the middle of the year, just kind of didn't stick. And then I did a couple other things last year that I did, and I saw through to the finish, and I was like, you know what, I want to do this Murph thing another try, but I want to do it once a week, just because I talked to a few guys who had done it, and it's one of those things that I think it's not necessarily a habit, but you're building that mental fortitude to just do something hard and do it repeatedly, so that at the end of the day, everything else doesn't seem that hard.
Yeah,
that's kind of why I do it.
That was the challenge for me personally. It was just setting aside that time every week, because it's not an easy workout. You don't want to do it. At times, sometimes you get out there and you're like, all right, let's get this thing done. But then there's other times like, okay, here we go, we're going to do this again. But just setting that time aside every week and knowing that it was up, and then missing a week, God, to miss a week is just awful, because then all right, I'm doing Murph 2 times this week. Or, and for someone that's not Chris Morgan, that's a monumental challenge. And especially with, you've got kids, right?
Yeah, I've got 2 boys. And so they're, it's funny. One of my boys asked me, I think it was last week, I had gone running and I came upstairs and he was awake after I trained, and he's like, Dad, what'd you do? Did you do Murph today? And I was like, no, buddy, I just ran today. But, they know I'm doing it, which is kind of cool.
Right. That is cool.
I just think there's something to be said for doing something for an entire year to be able to stay consistent, because everybody sets a New Year's resolution in January, right? And it just kind of goes out the window a couple weeks later, maybe a month, maybe you make it 2 months. But to be able to do it consistently, or at least make up the sessions that you miss, so that by the end of the year you've hit every session that you commit yourself to, is really, I don't know, it's pretty cool. I'm very happy, and it surprised myself a little bit that I made it this far. So I think there's something kind of cool about that.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
And I just rolled right into a different one, like with BCT, and it's just, I'm so happy that it's over now, though. And what's funny with you being at number 41 feels like you're close, but you're not.
Yeah.
You feel
especially when
okay.
41 went well, and I was like, oh yeah, I got this, no problem. But 40 was awful, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, when I was doing 40, I was just struggling. And I was like, am I going to do this again next year? And I was like, yeah, you know what, I'll do it. So I kind of started mine a little bit off schedule from yours. I did mine January through December, and I'm going to keep going just because it's like a new pair of underwear. At first it's constrictive, but after a while it becomes a part of you.
Yeah. When is your finish date?
It will be, I don't know. You know what? I haven't even looked. It's going to be toward the end of December, probably like the 28th or the 29th.
You should do a Christmas Day.
Did you do it? Did you do it to have 2021 as the year? You didn't do it start Memorial Day, did you?
No, I started in January. So I started
January.
The first week in January.
Yeah. Well, it's really cool. As somebody that's done it, keep going. I know you got it. It's nothing to it at this point other than putting in that time. And I honestly, I think it's cool every time I meet someone else that's decided to do it. Our little Murph 52 mission group, it started with our core group of guys, and then people just started jumping on in droves, and I think even Jared came to me and he's like, not ever once did I think of starting a group specifically for people doing Murph, and I think it's helped. 'Cause there's consistent people,
a lot of people
posting in that group for sure. So
I'm gonna look right now and see how many people are in it.
It was well over. I think it was over 100, or maybe I'm.
No,
there's a lot of
you're right. It
in that
was
group.
about 100. I don't know how many of them are actively doing it now, because we had a lot of people last year.
No,
we had a lot of energy for it last year. I think it was
I
COVID
let
years,
almost
right? So
anyone in
people.
there. If I look at your profile and you look like you're a real human, I let you in. So even if I think you're a human and you're, well, there's some. I think there are probably some, because there was one guy that's part of 100 groups. But it was all fitness groups or something. So I was like, I let him in because I didn't know. And what does it matter? What's he going to get out of there? Some conversation about a bunch of guys and gals doing a lot of working out. whatever.
He's gonna get tips on the most difficult way to get really fit. Yeah, just do Murph a lot.
There's 144
It's not effective training.
right now.
Yeah, I thought it was
That's
over
pretty good.
130, but I was afraid to say that. Yeah, 144 people have at least shown interest in doing it, and and I know a lot of them aren't strictly GGA people. I know there's just a lot of people that just find the group. So,
Yeah.
I think it's awesome, and glad you're a part of it.
Well, dude, I appreciate it. And
I will say,
I think it's awesome that like what you guys have kind of started, and it's not just like you said the GGA people, but you see dudes like Caswell brings a couple dudes from his neighborhood in to do it every week, and God, there was someone else that was doing it at their gym every Saturday, and there was always like 5 or 6 people that were doing it with them. So it's just
Chris John.
Dude, it's awesome. Like, I mean, what a cool thing to be a part of, you know?
Hey,
Right.
You had your Ring of Pain back before you moved. You had people do it with you quite a bit too.
Yeah, man.
Let's talk about that, because I used to love seeing those pictures. I mean,
I love the Ring of Pain. That was
we have our
sweet.
we have our little thick boy group, and we have this. We even talked about starting a commune in Colorado. I don't know if it'd ever get wings, but we definitely started the conversation. But we definitely all have this, like, I guess, fantasy of all of us having a cul-de-sac. Did you literally have that? Like, did all those people live around you?
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Legit.
That is incredible.
Man, it really was, and that was it. So I just moved, but then I still keep in touch with all those dudes. But it was really cool. So I had been doing GGA for a little while and doing Meet Yourself Saturdays for a little while, and I just texted one of my buddies and I was like, "Hey, man, I was like, I'm gonna do this workout tomorrow. Do you want to do it?" I said it's called the Iron Mile, and he's like, "Yeah, you know what? I'll do it." And I was like, "All right, cool." He's like, "What is it?" I was like, and I explained what it is, and he goes,
All right, never mind, I'm out.
It's easy.
now he's like, "All right, I'll be there." And he didn't have a barbell, and he'd had some like shoulder mobility issues. So I was like, "It's just got to be something like metal across your back and be heavy, and you just walk a mile with it." So
anybody that doesn't know, it's quite literally that simple. Put something heavy on your back, has to be metal, and walk a mile. The best way to do it is to walk half a mile and walk half a mile back. And you're generally going to do this from your garage. So, I mean, you're going to get all kinds of looks. But, the way that Jared describes it is use a barbell, which it just digs the whole time. So, but
that's not the best way to do it. That is the way you have to do it, because you have to go a half mile away from where you have to get back to, so that you can't quit. So,
that's why I say it's the best, is because you're less likely to quit. Yeah, you're less likely to quit for sure. But go ahead. What'd your buddy do?
So he shows up. He's pulling a wagon in the morning, and he's got a car jack in it with some rope tied to it for like handles, and he has kettlebells tied to it for like the extra weight. So he walked a mile with this car jack on his back, and he's like, he had a bruise on his shoulder for like a week or something like that. But a couple people that we knew walked by, and I was like, "What idiots doing?" And I'd thrown a picture on Instagram or something like that, and a couple of buddies reached out to me and they're like, "Yo, dude, like, thanks for inviting me, And I was like, "All right, well, next week is heavy load long distance," and it's kind of funny. That's programmed tomorrow. I have a picture of it.
It is.
Like, we had like 6 or 7 guys show up the next week for heavy load long distance, and I just sent it out to that group of dudes, and then so every week it started growing, and eventually we had, I think the most people that we had, and these are all guys in our neighborhood, and every now and then a friend of a friend would come in, and I was like, I don't care if they come or not, like, just, I don't have an extra barbell, so if it's something that is required, just have them throw it in their car or whatever, or they can use a kettlebell or just come on out and drink beer in the morning and hang out. But we had, for an EO3 5K, I think we had 13 dudes one week, which was awesome.
So jealous.
Like, it was so cool.
That's incredible. That's so incredible.
So the reason the Circle of Pain kind of mantra got dubbed because we lived in a cul-de-sac, And so several of the guys that would work out every week lived on the cul-de-sac, and a few other people kind of lived around the neighborhood. People lived around the neighborhood, and Memorial Day was coming up, and it was obviously Murph. And I was like, shoot, like if we have like 6 guys, like I don't know how we're gonna do that, because I didn't even have a pull-up bar at that time. I had a pegboard that I set up, you know, and do pegs and stuff. So that's what I would do all my pull-ups and dips and stuff on. So we had these 3 oak trees in the middle of our cul-de-sac. It was paved, and there was dirt in the middle, wood chips that we put down. And I was just talking with my neighbors, and they're all real handy. And I was like, what if we put up a metal pipe in between the 3 of these trees? And I measured them out, and they were all like 6 feet, 6 feet 2 inches, so like pretty close. So I went to Home Depot, bought a bunch of, like, got the exact measurements that I needed, and bought, you know, 1.25 inch pipe. They cut it and threaded it, and I got the floor flanges, and we hooked these bars up on Friday afternoon, and then so we could have 6 guys doing pull-ups at one time. And then I still had 2 more guys show up that day that did pull-ups on the pegboard. So we had 8 guys do Murph that Memorial Day weekend last year. Dude, it was awesome. And then we just kind of started calling it the Circle of Pain, because it was every Saturday, man. We'd be out there at 6:15, 6:20, and it was great. And then now a lot of those guys are subscribers to GGA, and so I know like at least 4 of them are doing the training every week. Several of them are on Endure. So like we've got like our own little Endure chat going and stuff like that. We're like, oh my god, you know, this week sucks. And, you know, it's so fun to like. It's a good way to stay in touch with those guys. And it was a really cool community. And we're moving into another cul-de-sac. It's completely paved over though, so there's no way I can string up pull-up bars in the middle of it. But I just hope that I'm able to kind of foster another community like that in the new neighborhood. And I think I will be. I've just kind of been scoping out some people already, and so I'm hoping for that.
I hope you are. Yeah, I hope you are, because I mean, the neighborhood I'm in, I see somebody jogging or walking up the street, I get kind of excited, and then I never see them again. And even one neighbor, he's asked me, he's like, hey, you know, I got some, whatever, blood pressure issues or something like that. I got to do something. Can I come train with you? I'm like, yeah, sure. All right, what time do you start? And at the time, it was, all right, well, I get going at about 5:15 a.m., so come on down. The garage will be always open. Just let me know, and I'll be out there. He never showed up, but, you know, and I don't know what to do either. I don't know, like, do I keep pressuring this guy to come, or, you know, do I just kind of let him make the decision? I think if he makes a decision, if he makes a decision, it'll be a lot more likely to stay. But I may bring it back up. Yeah, just kind of float the idea, like, hey, you were talking about working out. You still want to do that? Come on down, you know.
You should make like a fancy invitation with the Illustrator or something like that.
Yeah,
I got some really nice cardstock and flip in his mailbox. He'll feel real.
I mean, I could definitely do that, but I think, you know, a lot of for it to stick for him, he's going to need to want to change. And honestly, the guy I'm talking about doesn't need to do our training. What he needs to do is not eat the barbecue that he sells, because he has a barbecue restaurant and he cooks barbecue all the time, and and walk more often is my guess, is what he needs to do. But I told him it was open if he wanted to come. So we'll see if he ever turns it around.
I'm super jealous all the time of people that, because I definitely don't want to train with a group ever, but like that would be super fun to do, like the Meet Yourself Saturday workouts with people. I think that'd be really fun. I only did Murph with people 3 times in my Murph project. 3 times.
Out of 252 times, you did it with somebody 3 times.
4. I take it back, 4. Because once I did it with Matthew, and then twice with Caswell, and then once with my buddy on Memorial Day. So that was it. And it does help I would say, on those. But EO3 5K would be super fun to do with a group. That's awesome. You have like 13 people doing that. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, the EO3 5K, you don't need
right?
you don't need a bar or anything.
Yeah.
You need a pair of running shoes and your watch.
That's it.
If you even need that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was great. So in our neighborhood, I had like mapped out a perfect half-mile route, and so it was along in our where we lived in our neighborhood was just a loop, and then there was kind of cul-de-sacs all going inward on the loop, and so it was about half of the loop was 800 meters, and so there's just all these idiots running up and down the street, and then like doing calisthenics at the end of the road, and like, just taking up luckily we did it early enough where there wasn't a lot of traffic and whatnot, but no, it was really kind of cool to see that, and like you said, I don't know, I'm weird about how I train sometimes. Like I really like to focus. So for like a Meet Yourself Saturday workout, it's a little bit different because you can kind of just go at your own pace. It's a different style workout. It's not necessarily like a training session. Like, like what you're saying, Trampus, is like your neighbor wants to work out and train. I'm always open to like if somebody wants to make that step in improving themselves, I'm more than happy to help out. But when like you have a set amount of time that you have to dedicate to training, it's really hard to kind of coach someone at the same time unless they're on a very similar level as you.
Right. I think, as far as time, it's just to be honest, like, look, we're going to take an hour. And when I tell you to stop doing something, it's because I need to move on and I need to get out of here. Otherwise, go buy whatever, $300 pound or $300 300-pound weight set and do it at home. Because there's not a lot to it. And I know he's got the space. I've seen his basement. It's beautiful. I wish I had his basement.
Oh, basement gyms are sweet.
Yeah, but he's got a walkout. So he's got windows down there. It's not a dungeon. Yes, we've seen it.
What's wrong?
We've seen it.
Have you seen it?
I started out in my basement in Jersey, and I quickly stopped.
Why did you stop? Oh, well, I guess in Jersey is a full basement, wasn't it?
It was. It wasn't finished, though. But, I stopped for a couple reasons. Because on Endure, like, yes, we do strength stuff, but then we also do a lot of running. And a rower or a bike or a treadmill. And so I had to go upstairs. And, like, everybody else was sleeping in my house. So there's a couple times when, and they were only 7-foot ceilings. So if I'm doing, like, presses or, whatever, I'm, like, trying to fit it between the studs. So I banged studs a few times, and then I just got tired of running up and down the stairs, so I just said screw it. I just do it in the cold and then moved it out to the garage.
Yeah.
So that's the difference in South Carolina and say Jersey or Minnesota. Like we don't have full basements. We have walkouts. You build a house into a hill, and you got like a partial basement. Generally, there's a door, and honestly, I can't remember going into a basement that wasn't 8 or 9 foot ceilings. So it's not like, and the reason, just, little construction background, the reason that people do it in Jersey, like, is because your frost line is so low. You've got to dig so deep anyways. Right. Why not just go another foot and have a 7-foot basement? Whereas, up here, you want a basement because it's nice to have. Like, you don't need one. Nobody needs a basement here.
Most of them here are 8, but nowadays, like, people have a lot more living in basements, so now, like, a lot of new construction, they have 10-foot ceilings, which would be amazing, but I don't have 10-foot ceilings. Crazy. I got 8-foot ceilings.
Well, it can't be. I know it's going to be more expensive because there's a little more material, a little bit more excavation, but much, it can't be that much more. Like,
I agree.
There's no limiting factor other than the material and the excavation, but we'll get carried away there.
I think the big thing is, too, like, when you get into sheetrock and stuff, if it's 8-foot ceilings, it's like bang, 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 bang to finish it too, right? Because you got everything's dimensional. A lot of stuff's 8 foot.
Well, if you go a 10-foot ceiling, they sell 10-foot boards,
but not sheetrock.
They sell 10-foot drywall boards, but it's all right.
Do they?
Well, Mark, oh yeah, they sell 10s, 12s. They sell everything. I don't know why they did it the way they did it in your. I don't know why they did it like that in your garage or your basement.
Well, basements have their limits, so.
Well, Mark, it was awesome having you on. It was cool hearing about your your Murph experience, and then also just hearing a little bit more about how you train and how you used to train with your friends. We'll have you on again. We'll talk some more. For sure, it was a great time. And you're in what branch of service are you in?
I'm actually out of the Air Force now. I'm like a kind of a faux reservist now, just very, very part-time. But it's like I don't have to go in and do drill weekends or anything like that. I'm basically a liaison to high school students that want to apply to the Air Force Academy, so you kind of help them through the application process. So
nice.
Well,
it's sort of
regardless.
Yeah.
Regardless of how you feel about it, what you're doing now, we appreciate all you've done in the past, and we appreciate what you're doing now, because it's every part is a help to what the U.S. has going on. So we appreciate it, and thanks.
I appreciate that.
Yep. Chris, anything else to say?
No, my dogs just started barking, yelling, so it's a good way to wrap it up. Thanks for coming out, Mark.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to the next time.
Cool. Thank you, Bish.
All right, later.
And if anyone out there wants some cool T-shirts in the meantime, come check me out at coveringstrongbacks.com. Check me out on Instagram, Covering Strongbacks. That's where I show off most of my work, and you can also find me on Facebook too. There's a pop-up when you get there. I know I hate pop-ups. I even hate my pop-up because like I'm usually going to my website to look at something or to grab something and make something, and then I got this stupid pop-up, which I'm actually subscribed to. I actually subscribed to my own pop-up just so I could see the emails come through. But regardless, sign up, get 15% off instantly, and then you get to see my emails. And I actually haven't sent one in a while, but 1 to 2 a week, and maybe even less than that. Always 10% off in the email club, and you can find us on the interwebs. Like I said, thanks for coming on, Mark, Chris. I guess thanks. Nah, we'll see y'all later.
See ya.
Asshole.